All right, haven't done a video in a while, and there was a points change that was made recently. So I just want to talk about some of the cards. Now, this points change was announced on October 18th. It came into effect just recently, October 24th. I'm recording this on the 24th, so it would be today, but it might get posted the day after. And I just wanted to talk about, I guess, some of the points changes. I'll link in the video description the post. It was a post on Discord. And aside from that, yeah, I guess we'll just start. So Birthing Pod was changed from 2 points to 1 point. I think this change is fine. I'll be honest, I don't play Birthing Pod a lot or play against it a lot. I have played against Pat Berdusco, I'll say often, so I know exactly what the deck does, but again, I haven't played for a little bit. That's why I've taken this video break. But the points that they brought up, I think, are legitimate. You do have to put a lot of cards in your deck that either help you chain, or if you're just trying to do a value pod, then spending 2 points on it maybe doesn't seem appropriate. So overall, with this change, I'm a little bit, I don't care. I don't know one way or another if it's the right one or not. But I mean, I would err on the side of it being correct because the council has decided that. But without playing it, I don't know. I don't know what the point spread would look like. The reason it went to 1 is, well, maybe not the reason, but Spellseeker has increased a point. It was 2 points. Now it's 3 points. They say in their announcement, well, the fact that it's 3 points is probably only going to be used in a Time Walk Spellseeker deck, or at least they feel that deck is worth 10 points with those 2 cards. I think that's a good reasoning. They had a similar stance on Flash Hulk. Flash Hulk used to be 10 points. Hulk was 3 and Flash was 7. It's something similar here, but obviously it has a lot less requirements, the Spellseeker Time Walk deck. It's just those 2 cards. You don't need something to support Hulk. You need like an Ephemerate maybe and an Eternal Witness. But that's a really small package that are good on their own. Taking an extra turn, good at any point in the chain. Spellseeker, tutoring anything is always good. So I like seeing it go up to 3. It's just a really flexible tutor, even though it's only 1 or 2. Most of decks only need to play 1 and 2 mana cost cards. Oh yeah, so I got 2 versions of the Jite here. Umezawa's Jite was an experiment, I guess I'll say. It is increasing right now. So right now it's at 1 point. It's increasing to 2 points. Well, on the 24th today. And I think it's kind of funny because when it went down to 1, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just jam it in this deck. Yeah, it's better than whatever. So at 1 point, it was very easy for decks that weren't able to play Stoneforge or didn't want to have like an equipment package, and they just wanted, I'll just have a card if I need to fight against aggro. I'll just jam this 1 card in. Something like Balance is somewhat a similar role. It's like, well, I'm not playing creatures, and I might need to handle some aggro, so I'll play Balance. But then they're jamming out their hand, so you're probably discarding your hand. Even though you're getting all the creatures, you're not being able to keep your resources that get you like the 3-for-1 if you're playing it, in that style to fight against aggro. Whereas Jite does exactly what you want. Like, oh, I'm playing some value creatures or something. I'm not saying exactly Spellseeker, but some value creatures that have an ETB. Yeah, I'll just throw Jite on them. Now I'm beating my opponent's aggro deck in combat all the time. So it was reduced to 1, I'll say somewhat recently, within the last year, based on a community vote, and it has gone back up to 2 points based on the council's decision. And I believe that is the correct choice. I think it is kind of funny. It's an innocuous card, but if you haven't played in like Jite Mirrors, or you're an aggro deck and you don't have the Jite against just some deck that has a Jite, you're like, wow, all my combat for the rest of time is just awful here. So that's GTA. Underworld Breach. I have three copies of this because I like it a lot. I've been playing it a lot. Underworld Breach is increasing to 3 points, and the reason is because it's so powerful in the Black Lotus Storm decks. Now you're basically limited to an Underworld Breach and Black Lotus, or your Yawgmoth's Will, Lotus, some tutor maybe, something like that. So what they're trying to do is curb the Black Lotus Storm decks to having access to too many tools and tutors, like a Wishclaw Talisman or something, right? Underworld Breach I really like, and I really like actually the Storm version without Lotus, just with a Breach. I think that deck's really good. So I like that it's gone to 3 now. It makes some choices a little bit harder. Mana Crypt is going to 5 points. I think that's also... I think that it's really interesting pointing, because I believe, at least as long as I played Highlander, Soul Ring and Mana Crypt moved in lockstep. They were 3 points, then they were both 4 points, and now they've finally separated them. Mana Crypt is going to 5 points, where Soul Ring is staying at 4. And I like that because Mana Crypt is just faster, right? On your opening hand, you just play it and then you have 3 mana. You don't have to spend a turn actually deploying the Soul Ring, which you would have to do, which gets you to 4 but on turn 2, but just having 3 mana and then 4 mana on turn 2, you've been able to spend 7 mana. That is a lot, whereas in Soul Ring you've only been able to spend 5, one of which is on the Soul Ring itself. So I like that that's broken up, and some of the best point spreads for medium red anyways were a 9-point spread, whereas Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Mana Vault. So it doesn't really change too much in that deck, and of course, just changing some of the options and things like that, I think it is interesting. So I really like that points change. It's an interesting one. Yawgmoth's Will is decreasing. So it was 2 points, and it's moving to 1. Now, Yawgmoth's Will moved to 2 points when Underworld Breach was moved to 1. This was off the list. It hadn't been put on the points list yet, and then it moved to 1 point. At that point in time, Yawgmoth's Will moved to 2 because it was like, oh, this card is so strong with in the Black Lotus deck, Storm deck, that, well, okay, we want to try and curb it. Now, at the time, it wasn't obvious that Underworld Breach was so much more powerful than Yawgmoth's Will, but that's, I think, the reasons that both of them went up to help curb the Storm deck. Now the power is being realized. Underworld Breach is really the problem, so Yawgmoth's Will going back to 1, that lets the older Black Lotus style decks that don't play Underworld Breach have access to their points again. So I really like that as a decision. Yes, okay. Protean Hulk. I'm not putting it back in the points list, pointed cards box. Protean Hulk is going to 0 points, so it will not be returning to the box. And I think that's really fun. I've played Protean Hulk in several Flash Hulk decks, but mostly I play it in a Sandra Bullock or Pattern Rector deck. And there, I think, like they mentioned, that it feels fair, right? It's fair at no points in that deck, because that deck is, again, it's similar to a Birthing Pod deck where it has a bunch of different parts, but you don't have a chain that you can go up to. You just like, I need the Hulk, then sacrifice the Hulk, then do my chain. So Protean Hulk off the points list. I think that's a great change. It's certainly going to change some of my decks, and it gives me some brewing space. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Protean Hulk should be 0? Do you like that Spellseeker went up to 3 and Jit went back up to 2? Let me know. I am curious, and well, thanks for watching. I'll try and do some more videos in the future, but we got no promises. I have a kid now, so a little bit busy. Thanks again. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you have any ideas you want for deck techs or something you want me to cover, let me know. I'm hoping to keep doing this for a while, at least until I run out of ideas. So thanks again. Have a good one.